Okay, so we're recording, and what I'm going to do today is mostly go through the course, talk about all the parts, and then leave you to go. So I'm starting with your Blackboard site, which should look like this. It came live this morning. And what you want to do is go to course content. And you click on it and nothing happens, just like normal. There you go. So just the very top thing you've probably experienced in other classes. It's been like that for 100 years and they can't fix it. If you can't see PDFs, there's a little switch you have to change on your Blackboard and then it. So we're going to go through the course materials. So basically what's in here is the course outline, and then I will post the first day video. So it's hidden right now on yours, but that's where it'll be. Okay. So course outline, I'm just going to stop sharing this and share my course outline. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay, so course outline, a lot of it, you guys, we all have the same looking course outlines. This is Financial Accounting, Advanced, Section CC01. 3 credits, 45 lecture hours, etc., etc. Your class schedule is Wednesday and Friday from 11 till 12:30. And we all know that because we're actually here in the right room. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Okay, so the lectures, actually me going through material, are online. And when we get to that part of Blackboard, I'll show you. So they're to go through on your own. They had, generally, the lectures had pretty good reviews last year because they're on YouTube, so you can speed them up or you can slow them down, you can pause them, go over it again, stuff like that. But on Wednesdays, we're going to meet in class to either complete lecture material, like let's say you guys had questions about one thing in particular, we can go over that. And I want to do some problems, okay? Because that way there's a little more problem work getting done. Midterm and finals. Midterms are scheduled during the actual class times. They're going to be here and they're going to be on Connect. Final exams will be final exam time, but it's still going to be here at MacEwan on Connect, unless you guys, everything goes to heck and we're online fully, okay? But there will be lots of warning for that. So you have to have a laptop on those days to write your exams here, and it's got to be charged because, as you can see, we've got not a lot for plugins. And all the labs are booked, so I couldn't book in labs. So one thing, if you don't have a laptop, and I did mention that in my email earlier in August, you can take one out of the library. So talk to them, see if you can just book it just for that, or if you want to book it for the semester, that's great. Or borrow someone's, you guys, and hopefully that'll work. If you've got an issue, you guys, talk to me well before the exam and we can look at what we can do, okay? Any questions? As we go through this, you guys, if you got a question, just let me know. Okay, so the location, Wednesdays here in 6348 and online on Fridays. I'm Stephanie. I'm a CPA CGA. I've had experience as a controller of a school district. I've done a lot of accounting, both in managerial and financial accounting and in training for different companies. Right now I'm working on taking a data analytics certificate through York. So it was an interesting summer, you know, learning Python and putting it together with Power BI and stuff, but it's fun because you get all this data and then you can find out things. I just love it. Anyway, it does keep me up a lot of nights. So that's what I'm doing. I've been at McEwen for a while. My office is 5241B. That's a phone number in case you want to leave a voicemail. It comes to my email, so I'll always check it whether I'm here or not. That's my email, best way to reach me. And Blackboard is, you know where Blackboard is. Okay, my office hours, Tuesdays 11 to 1 online, Tuesdays 5 to 6 online, Thursday 11:30 to 12:30 in my office. Okay, and then of course you guys, if you have questions after class, I don't have back-to-back classes here, so you can always come and ask on Wednesdays. If you want to make an appointment, we can certainly do that on a day that works for you. The online office hours, just so you know, there's going to be a link I'll show you on Blackboard. And I've got it set so only one person can come in at a time. Because a lot of people, if they're having a question about a problem, they don't want everybody to hear it. So it's set so you sit in a waiting room, you know, like Zoom. Mine's on WebEx, same thing. And I let you in one at a time. Okay. So the required text is the 9th edition of Modern Advanced Accounting in Canada. It's a soft cover, and I don't know why I didn't put it in my bag when I left my office, but I will talk about it. I've got a little slide about it later. Now, you've probably heard about this in 315, 316. You have access to the CPAC handbook through McEwen Library. So if you go to the library main page and just search for CPA CHB, that's the Bible. You know how for tax, you've got the Tax Act? This is the Bible for financial accounting, okay? So it's got not-for-profits, it's got ASPE, and it's got IFRS. When you get on to the CPA program, they give you access to that during exams. So just like reading the Tax Act, it's kind of hard to read. So the nice thing is before you get to Core 1, or for those of you that are going to do some kind of master's, just search through this as you read through the text and it mentions IFRS 9. Go in and look at it. See what the wording says. Kind of get used to it. I'm not going to test you on it, but it'll give you an advantage going to the CPA. Okay, you're going to be using Connect for online assignments, not for projects. Sorry, just cross that little, well, you don't have it in paper. I'll cross it off for you. I'll tell you. And exams, I should say, and exams. Blackboard, you know about the description. There's a lot of things. You can read that yourself. Basically, I'm going to give you a quick overview so you can see where we're going with this. This is kind of a weird course. You know, in 316, every single chapter in the first 4 chapters covered like 15 topics, right? Then each of the latter chapters was one big topic by itself. But you covered a lot of stuff there. So here, the first 3 chapters, we're going to start with not-for-profit accounting. And have any of you taken Greg's not-for-profit accounting last year? As an option? Okay. It is. So if you're interested in it, that's a course you can take. If you're here next year, because he's on sabbatical this year. So he's not running it. So not-for-profit accounting we start with. Then chapters 10 and 11. We're starting at the back of the book because I'll tell you something. Then 10 and 11. I haven't done this for a while. 10 and 11 are all about foreign currency transactions and then translation into financial statements. So those 2 chapters are kind of linked. Then chapter 2, that's where we start the rest of the course. And chapter 2 starts talking about investments in equity. So we have a company, we invest in that company's equity. Well, if you only invest in a little, do you have any control over the company? You buy 10 shares of Microsoft? No, right? So that's a passive investment. You've already done the entries for those in 315. Then if you own a little bit more, a certain percent, we'll talk about it, then you have a little more control. Okay? So that's where you use what's called the equity method, which is mentioned in 315, but we don't cover it because we're covering it in here. And finally, if you buy or own more than 50%, do you have control of a company? Yes. And that is chapters 3 to 9. It's learning how to do a consolidation where we own more than 50% of that company. So when we present our financial statements to our investors, we pretend we've merged the two companies. Okay? And that takes the whole rest of the course, which is why I've left that at the end, because the final is 3 hours and you don't have to rush trying to do a full consolidation. Okay? Any questions on what we're going to cover? So really, it's some little stuff in the front and then consolidations. Okay. So the stuff you really want to see is the breakdown of the evaluation. Your Connect assignments are 15%, and please someone tell me if it doesn't add up to 100. Midterm 1 is October 13th, 12, 10, and 11, the chapters. Midterm 2 is 20%. It's November 3rd. Now, I put the midterm 1 a little bit later than I normally would, just because I wasn't sure how this month's going to turn out and if we get behind. Now, both of these are not cumulative. It's just those 3 chapters, okay? However, your final is cumulative, heavy emphasis on the latter chapters, which is the whole hard consolidation part, and it's 40%. You also have a group project, and we're going to do it on data analytics. So what have you guys done in data analytics already coming up to this year? Anything fun, exciting? Oh, you did Tableau. Okay. In managerial. Okay. So are you guys all pretty familiar with Tableau? Okay. Have you used Tableau maybe once? Seen it? I know it was a long summer in there. Plus, you were all online. I get it. Okay. So it'll be something like that. What I plan to do is it'll either be Tableau or Power BI, depending on if you guys can get Power BI, because that's the one CPA is using. So I wanted to emphasize that one. But it's just give you a data set, a video with a data set, show you how you put the little things in to get the little heat map or the pivot table type things or cluster charts, anything like that. And then you can do it as a group. Okay, now one thing about the group project, you guys, I will put more information up on about it. But you can, if you want, do it on your own, okay? But you can have like a group of 3 or 4 if you want, okay? And the reason I'm letting you do it on your own is I just had a whole summer of group projects. That's all we were marked on was group projects. And let me tell you, I have a new appreciation for your pain, because it is something, especially online. So this is half online, so I do feel for you. However, if any of you are in my 412 class, you can't escape group work. Okay, student responsibilities. Just remember, you guys know this. You made it this far. You got to keep up in these courses. Okay, missing exams. This is a dicey situation. Depending on where we're going to go, you might not even be able to get in to see anyone to get a medical note. But, you know, feeling sick and getting a COVID test, which you would do anyway if you got sick, let me know, okay? If you're sick. So we're pretty flexible with this whole medical notes, okay? Because the provost, he put it very well. He said, you know, that we're still in a state of emergency because we don't know what's going to happen. So I don't want to stress any of you guys out. What'll happen is you'll just have to write it at a later date in the exam center, okay? And same with the final exam. Questions so far, you guys? I feel like I'm just whipping through this. Okay, your letter grades, you know, all that, student concerns. Please don't record this class. Students have got upset about it before, especially when people were recording me talking or taking pictures of things and students were in the way. So just be careful. Okay, withdrawal policies, academic integrity, grade point average, Connect assignments. Okay, there's the link to find Connect, and there's further instructions on Blackboard. 3 attempts for each question, and they have show your work, or show your work, correct your work, check your work enabled, okay? Because as you find, as you get to chapter 5, 6, those problems, there's one problem for homework because it takes an hour and a half, okay? So check your work is on. If you find it's not, please let me know. I double checked it last night, but I could have missed it. Connect always shows you the average. I get both, so I take the highest, okay? So don't worry about that. Now, if you've noticed, I grouped them in 3 different groups. That doesn't mean they're all individual little assignments, so you don't have to wait to do chapter 12 till October 12th, okay? So I suggest complete them as soon as you finish the chapter. Now, the problems for each one, except chapter 11, there is problems and multiple choice. And there are 2 separate assignments because they need different settings. Because with multiple choice, if you have check your work, that's not really helping you. Well, it's helping you too much. So again, these are in groups, but I really think you should do them every week as soon as you finish the chapter. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, chapter 8 is not covered in this course, and we don't do chapter 9 because it's right near the end. Questions on that? Okay. Okay, your group projects, data analytics, the information we put on Blackboard when I decide exactly what I want to do. Now, this is your class schedule. Every other day is going to be in class. So when it says in class, we're in here, it's a Wednesday. All the other days, and I should have put them in different colors, I don't know why I didn't. All the other days, you're just doing stuff at home on your own. Okay? So Friday, you're going to watch chapter 12 videos and try doing some of the problems. Then when we recongregate next Wednesday, we're going to work on any questions from the lecture material and look at some problems. I usually pick the trickier ones that we can pull apart, especially for Connect, because some of them can get very frustrating. Any questions with how this is going to work? I've got your due dates for Connect. They're always due at midnight. And October 13th is your first midterm. It's closed book. And bring your laptop charged up. And then again, you see there's not much time between these two, but you should be okay. Especially since you've got reading week after that. Then you have other closed book midterm. And then we keep going and do all that stuff. It tells you when everything's due and your final exam. And again, your final is going to be on Connect. Students in the last year found I had really positive reviews with it being on Connect, especially since it marks it and gives you your mark right away. But if we need to revisit it, being that we're writing in class, then we can. Okay? But for right now, I plan on having it on Connect. Okay, questions with the course outline and how it works. So what days do we come here? Wednesdays. Okay, excellent. Okay, so that was the course outline. Trying to make sure I hit everything. Okay, back to our Blackboard. So that's where the course outline was. If there's any announcements, that's where it'll be. If for some reason I'm sick and I can't make class, there'll be an announcement there, but I also send out an email. Okay. Here's the Connect information and links. So under Connect instructions, what they've done is put the URL there and talk about how to register and go there. You can either purchase the access code from the bookstore or just purchase it online. And they've cut it down substantially. So there's two places you can link. You can either link here or in the course outline. Oh, yes. Online Connect with the textbook is good. Yeah. And I will talk about that in just a minute. Actually, I'll talk about it right now. Oh, drives me nuts. Share. Textbook feature. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for my little. I don't know what I did with it. I'm confused. Yeah, you guys, the textbook, this is a picture that I really had, but this is from the bookstore page, you know, where you find the bookstore stuff. And you'll notice the print copy is $164.50, but the online Connect, and that comes with Connect, the online Connect is $93.50. And last year it was a little cheaper if you bought it right online. I don't know if it is this year. So yeah, the nice thing with that is as you work through, if you realize, you know what, I wish I had a hard copy of the text, for $30 plus shipping, they'll ship you a loose leaf package of the text, which actually isn't like, it's not that crappy newspaper type thing. It's quite good paper. So, you know, if you find that after you've just bought Connect, it still doesn't equal to $164.50. Questions about the textbook? Okay. And if you have any questions, you guys email me. And there's a little video on how to register for Connect. It's from last year because they decided they're not doing it this year, so it should be the same though. Okay, so that was Connect. Now, office hours, for online office hours, just click here and it's just one link for whichever office hour you pick. Okay? Which is really nice. It takes you through WebEx. That's what I use. Okay, and of course you can send email. Now, this is what chapter 12 looks like. Now, what you'll see here are notes, because what I do is when I lecture, I do a kind of workbook format rather than PowerPoint, and you kind of go through and you fill in the answers. Okay? Now, a lot of times I'll explain some of the question after we've done an example and say, okay, now pause it and try filling it in. Okay, and then start it up and we'll go through it. That kind of stuff. So it's kind of like filling in a workbook. Now, sometimes there's little errors. It'll tell you the errors there. Now, unfortunately with this one, I made a little error on page 2. It was talking about not-for-profit accounting. And what I was supposed to be talking about was new not-for-profits that make more than a certain amount, you adjust prospectively. However, when the standard came in, you adjusted retrospectively. So I used retro instead of prospective. Just remember, it's prospective, it's corrected in the notes. Now, I'll just tell you a little story. I had a great plan to redo all the videos, one by one, every week. They're mostly good, but I used this kind of camera. They gave me one to take home to record last year. Sometimes it got out of sync. I fixed as much as I could in Camtasia, but I'm not a video expert lining up the things. At any rate, last week, some little vein on the back of my eye got clogged and stopped oxygen from going to my eye. So this little gray shade dropped about halfway down my right eye. So it's hard to read. Even with a patch, close my eye, put a big patch on, and it's still blurry. So until this eye starts taking over, I'm trying to do as little as possible that I can. So I might do parts of videos redone. But please, you guys, if you find a video and you go, oh my God, this is ridiculous. She's 5 minutes out of whack between sound and video. Please email me. Tell me the video, what time, and I will fix it in Camtasia. Okay? Because last semester, they just complained at the end, but no one ever told me. So please, please, I'd be happy to fix that. So what I'm saying is down at the bottom, after you get some exhibits and some solutions to all the problems that I recommend, here's the lecture videos. So they're all on YouTube, and you just go through each of the parts. They're roughly about 15 minutes because the camera would automatically cut out randomly between 15 and 20 minutes. So I did get a better camera. I just have to try and get everything adjusted so I can work on it. So questions on the videos. So I'll just get you a sample of my notes and share them. Oh, so you can see this. Oh no, I have to share it because I'm recording this. I tell you, some days okay, let me just share this, you guys. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Stop sharing. Share. I'll get there. I'll get there, you guys. I promise. Okay, so for example, here's the chapter 12 notes. So you notice I give you the theory first. And then I talk, in this case, it's fund accounting and deferral revenue. We're doing different kinds. And accounting for contributions is different, so there's a lot of reading. But then here's something to fill in that we're doing. But I'm not sure what we're doing. Just keep going. Restricted fund, deferral method, blah, blah, blah. This one's a lot of theory, you guys, because you haven't been exposed. It's its own section, part 4 of the handbook. So it's reading, reading, reading. So eventually we get to a question. So accounts payable, accounts and wages payable, accrued liabilities. We look through this, we fill it in, and that's how my notes go. Okay. Now, there were some suggestions last semester that They didn't like all the discussion of the theory, because it does make the video, there's a lot of videos. If you're finding that, because they suggested, and that's how I was going to redo the videos, is just do the examples. But some people like the theory, so I was really torn on that. So if you're finding the theory, it's like, you know, I just want to get to the example, just forward wind until you get there, okay? Anyway, so that's what my notes look like. And any questions on that, you guys? Okay. So stop sharing. Okay, so that was chapter 12. We have lecture videos. We've got the answers to problems and anything else, errors, anything else that goes in there. Okay, so goes through when we get to midterm. It's hidden right now, but once we get there, I tell you basically the breakdown of the exam, the percent on each of the chapters roughly, how many points, what types of problems, that kind of thing. And then I do the same for midterm 2, and then the same for the final. Okay? Any questions about Blackboard, how it works, how the course is going to work? So basically, what are you going to do on Friday? Let's say you were going to use this class time to do this class. Watch the videos for chapter 12. Yeah. Okay? You know, it's so much easier explaining it in person than trying to do it online. This is awesome, you guys. I hope you're as happy to be back as I am. Okay, anything else? Oh, the other thing with my eye, you guys, if you see me down the hallway and you're waving, I'm just ignoring you. Just not that long distance, just is not working. Because yes, I've had students go, I've been waving that whole way. And it's like, I mean, not now. I actually got glasses also because I couldn't see in the distance. Okay, clearly, okay, my husband, this is the last story I'll tell you. I don't usually tell stories, I promise. My hubby teaches at NAIT, economics. So we were both home for the last year and a half. So you can imagine, well, we're still together. And however, it's kind of exciting to have new people to talk to. So if I'm blabbing too much, I'll catch on. Okay. Do you have any questions about the course outline, textbook, Connect, or how the notes are going to work? Okay. One thing I do suggest, and I had multiple positive comments about that, is print the notes off and fill them out. Or like if you've got a tablet that you can write on top, do it, because all the studies are showing handwriting it out, as crazy as it is, our brain processes differently than typing, because you guys, when you type, we can all type really fast, right? So I process it differently, and it forces you to go, okay, what did she just say? Okay, hit pause. Oh, okay, we've got to make sure we use the deferral method when we don't have fund accounting, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So a lot of students said, yeah, I'm glad you told us to do that, because it really made me pay attention also. Because the other thing, watching YouTube videos, how many of you have gone into downward spirals for hours on YouTube? Okay? And these ones are worse because they'll put you to sleep, because it's all me, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If there's no questions, you guys, I think we're good for today. So please send me any questions you have. Otherwise, I will see you in a week.